program for the JavaScript final. It's a clicker game. It's pretty simple. I probably should have done some cleanup on where my declarations and stuff are, but up here I import the machine class from machine.js. This is the number of clicks it adds per click of the button. This is the counter element for the clicks. Here's the price exponent. This number determines how much more expensive each successive machine gets as you buy it. These are the types of machines declared. Each of them is a type of machine, and it includes a name, a cost, like a base price, a price exponent, which by default is just this one. This is how many clicks it adds to the counter, and this is the delay before it adds them. So the program runs about 60 frames per second. So it does this 60 times per second. So this is a little over a second. This is a little under a second, and this is a little under half a second. So the upgrades get progressively better. This is where I add the event listeners for the purchase buttons for each of the machines. Here, this is where I have the event listener for the button that you click to add clicks to the amount. This is the update function. So I go through and for each machine, I update the number of clicks that you have by the return value of the machine's update function with the delta time included, which in this case is just 1 because it's 1 frame, or like 1 delta time for each frame. Anyway, then here I have my main loop. It starts by requesting the next animation frame, which of course calls main loop again, and it queues that. It isn't actually executed until it finishes this. And then down here, I call the first frame to start that. Then in machine.js, I have the constructor for the machine class. So you can see name, base price, price exponent, clicks per tick, tick milliseconds, which is the delay before it adds the amount, and the amount which by default starts with 0 because you should start a clicker game with nothing but the ability to click a button. So then here in the constructor, I have, it might be a little bit clunky, but I have the code in the constructor that actually adds the element to the list of machines that you can buy. Down here, I have the purchase function, which takes the money object. And I have, that's something I forgot to mention. Here, clicks, which is like your currency, is actually an object with an attribute called value. The reason for that is because then I can give this object to this through this, and it can edit the value of it. If that were just a variable that held an integer, I couldn't do that. So here, if the price is less than or equal to the amount of money that you have, then it'll deduct the price from the amount of value. Then it'll add the amount of that machine, and then it'll update the elements so that you can actually see that you own that machine. And on a successful purchase, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. Those don't actually do anything for right now. I might change that in the future. But if you don't have enough money, it gives you an alert and it says, you can't purchase this. You don't have enough money. Lastly here, you have update with delta time. So if the number of machines you have of this type is greater than 0, then you can do like the update logic. So you add the delta time to the tick counter. I have it in milliseconds. I should really change that to just be like tick counter or something. Originally I was going to have it be in milliseconds, but it's easier to just do it in frames because there's less logic required. So then if the tick counter is greater than the time at which that it's supposed to like tick and add its value to the tick counter, then it'll do its thing, and then it'll return the amount of clicks that it's supposed to add for this machine type. Otherwise, it returns 0 because if it's not time for it to do it yet, then you shouldn't add anything to the amount of currency that you have. All right. Lastly, with the code, we have the HTML, which is pretty simple. Just have a button. I use the button class just because, or the button element just because it looks cool. and it's kind of a fun stylistic thing. Turns out if you do an H1 in a button, it looks kind of neat. Then I have like the click counter, the click amount. So this is the amount that I update whenever you click the button or it's updated. And here is the unordered list where the machines that you can purchase are. It says that here that you can sell them, but I haven't put that in yet. So yeah, and then lastly, here's the style. The body I just edited for this video to make it like more centered. And then here's the styling for buttons and for when you hover over buttons, and then the section just restricts the width. Yeah, so then here's the actual thing. I can click this button a couple times. You can see here, basic clicker, you own 0, purchase for 10. You see I now have one fewer things, and it is now clicking the button for me. So now I can purchase another one, and you'll also notice the price goes up. It's some cool math, but it does go up like exponentially. So at some point you will need to invest in the higher tiers of stuff. Let's see, so like 13, oh, not enough money to purchase. See, yep, that works. I am kind of curious though, like, I wonder if I can, yeah. Real quick, I'm just gonna try and get an advanced clicker. See, it's already working. The addictive gameplay, everybody. Look. And also, look at how nice this click button looks. I love it. Oh, hey, here we go. And as you can see, that is ticking up much faster. And yeah, that is my project. Not as advanced as I originally thought it would be. Turns out a lot of this stuff is harder, and a lot of this had to be hacked together in kind of haphazard manner, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah. All right.